You're listening to The Real. With Rachel D on WATB 1420. Hey guys, welcome to The Real with Rachel D. I'm here with my fabulous co-host, Miss BJ.
Hello.
And P Money's in the house.
What's up?
So, how's your week going so far, guys?
It is going really, really okay.
Nothing special, huh?
Nah.
Well, this has actually been this past 7 days has been pretty eventful for America.
Oh, yes.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump in. We're going to start with the celebrity news. This one's kind of at home wise.
Yeah.
So, R. Kelly has been in the news and stays in the news. Mm-hmm. But apparently, there was some issues, of course, with his touring after the whole cult thing. People were starting to
cancel.
Not come.
Yeah, they weren't buying tickets.
So now city officials seem to be getting involved with that as well.
Yeah, it's so crazy because there was the Fulton County has decided the chairman and a candidate for Atlanta mayor called for an investigation into R. Kelly's cult allegations.
Right.
So now they're wanting to lead an allegation. And it's so crazy because once singer R. Kelly found out about it, he became outraged that the Fulton County chairman and the Atlanta mayor are investigating him.
How are you outraged by that? Well,
I mean,
I don't know. What's the investigation behind?
I think so many people they look at it with concern, and it's an outpour from the community. So what I think they're just following up on a popular topic that people are finding out. They want to make certain that there's nothing illegal going on and that these women aren't being held against their will singing like the old 12 play album or something. So,
well, I have to say, for the first time this week, I saw the aerial footage of his house with that little dollhouse in the back.
Yeah.
I think that warrants an investigation.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
A dollhouse in the back. I haven't seen that photo.
It's like what do you call those? Like when the kids have like a
playhouse.
A playhouse.
Yeah.
You know, like
Well, does he have any kids though?
No.
But they're grown. His kids are well grown, and once they get grown, you can knock that down unless that's where he keeps the girls.
Right. That's where he knocks it down.
Yeah. But it is weird because I was wondering. I'm like, what? It's not like a jungle gym, but it's like a playhouse.
It's like a slave quarters in the back.
Literally.
Well, yeah, I heard that he was having a concert at the Wolf Creek Amphitheater, which is in Fulton County, and they said no. Does that happen? Or at least they're voting on canceling it.
I think just because right now he is not looked on favorably in the media, so they were like, yeah.
And this is a different way to look at it because initially it seemed like he was canceling the appearances because of low ticket sales. But getting it from this angle, it's like, or maybe was it canceled because the theaters themselves are like, we don't want the association.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
All right, so let me go ahead. I'm going to skip around a little bit. Since R. Kelly's a Throwback Thursday, let's go ahead and just finish up this Usher saga. Okay, so of course, Quantasia Sharpton had came out in the media last week or the week before and said that she hooked up with Usher. And that Usher exposed her to herpes but did not give it to her. Of course, everybody felt that she was lying, and history has come back and said that she is kind of a habitual liar.
Correct.
Her past classmates said so. Her mom said so. Well, apparently, here's some people who don't think that she's lying so much is the Days Inn employees who said that they did, in fact, see them together at a Days Inn.
Yeah, now they did say that she and Usher were a guest, but do you think they might just be in on it?
I think so. I mean, with all the money that this man has, he could have, temporarily bought up the Four Seasons and cleared it out and nobody was seeing anything.
Right.
I just don't think that he's
a
going
Days Inn.
Yeah. So
Goodness.
I don't know.
And then at the same time, like Usher had released a statement recently saying, I regularly bring a diverse group. This is, and I quote, a diverse group of people up on stage, not just supermodels. It's an esteem booster.
I'm sorry, we're exchanging glances.
Yeah, I'm like, an esteem booster. to get sweated on by Usher?
Well, honestly, I can see that because if you get pulled up on stage by Usher, I've never been a fan of Usher, but I've never been a diss fan, but he just wasn't one of that guys I was dreaming about when I was younger. But if he was to you and he picks you up out the audience out of thousands of people, I can understand how a fan might look at it like he likes me.
Right.
Because even with Quantasia, I mean, what was it that made her choose or made him choose her? Because she said it was her birthday, they said it wasn't.
She also said she had on a birthday hat and she was in the front row. So maybe he was like, you know what?
Maybe it was a charity thing.
I burnt that lady last week. Let me do something nice. Let me do something nice. So, I mean, honestly, I don't know. But like he said, he picks a diverse group of people. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but maybe, I don't know.
And also it's like the fact that she's keeping this lie up with all of the stuff that's coming out about her. Why keep it going?
And maybe the Days Inn just needs customers.
When's the last time you seen a Days Inn? Like, I thought that franchise
I made a wrong turn
done
somewhere.
It was probably off Northside Drive, wasn't it, behind the strip club?
Access road somewhere.
Yeah, it was dark and, like little crackheads running across the street. And I was like, all I saw was the light from the Days Inn flickering.
Yeah, wrong place. All right, so moving on to something new. So, Kim Kardashian is in the media like she always is, but this one's different. Have you guys heard of the makeup artist Jeffree Star?
Yes.
You seem extremely unimpressed with that, Patrick.
I remember Jeffree Star from MySpace. Does anybody remember him from MySpace?
I don't remember MySpace.
Oh.
That was a lot of vodkas ago. I do not remember MySpace.
I remember Jeffree Star before he was a makeup artist. He was he was trying to had a very unsuccessful rock career. Like he was trying to be a singer.
Oh.
Well, he that didn't work out apparently, but makeup and his connections did because he was connected to Kat Von D and they were somewhat launching makeup together. Mm-hmm. And it was something that happened. I remember, hearing about it. I guess he stole somebody's logo, something like that.
Right.
But that's how they fell out. Anyway, so he is a makeup guru and he has his cosmetics, Jeffree Star's Cosmetics. Well, what had happened was he started criticizing Kim Kardashian about her swatches, which I thought swatches was a little piece of fabric that they give you to test the color and everything. I am so out of the loop with the makeup. But apparently swatches are, if you don't know, is where you take some of the makeup and you rub it on your forearm to kind of see how it looks and all that stuff. Well, he was criticizing how her swatches looked. They struggle swatches, I think that's what she called them. And he was criticizing her makeup. She came out with the contour kit. I sat there, y'all, yesterday and watched hours of people's reviews just because they were terrible, and it was so funny. So I mean,
I watched Jeffree Star's video of it, and I watched Kim Kardashian's video because I guess she's trying to launch a YouTube channel now. Yeah, but it's kind of very produced, and it's it's just kind of like she's sitting there and other people are kind of doing stuff to her. So when she was reviewing her own contour kit, she seemed fairly unimpressed by it.
Really? No, because every video I saw, the thing broke on everybody's. It was insane. Really? Before they even put it on their face, some of them broke halfway through. Some of them, they just popped the top off and it broke. And they talked about how small product you get for the cost. It's like $50. Anyway, so he's going in on Kim Kardashian about all that. So her fans decide to attack him and bring up his past. About, if y'all have not heard, Jeffree Star had a racist rant pass. If you saw the videos, he's calling black girls the N-word, saying I should throw acid on your face so that you can lose your black skin and look, light skin or look better or something like that. Calling people dirty Mexicans, just really going down, being completely inappropriate. Well, Kim Kardashian's fans brought that back up. And so Kim decides she's going to go on Snapchat and defend Jeffree Star. She thanked him for his critiques. And then she said, guys, you need to let his past be. Stop bringing it up. I know it's racist, but people change and everything. Right. now's not the time to say no mess like that.
No.
If you have been awake in the past week with everything that's going on, now is not the time to tell somebody to get over somebody's racist rants. Jeffrey was not 15. He was like 20 and grown and on camera multiple times saying stuff like that.
He was only 20 because he looks about like a hard 50 now.
I'd say like a 49 and a half.
Right.
I just threw that out there because I was like, he wasn't a teenager and younger, so he was at least a grown man.
Right.
And so because of that, Kim Kardashian got lit on fire.
Oh yeah, her fans basically let her know that she was defending a racist. How could you? You yourself are in an interracial relationship, so how are you okay? But then at the same time, well, I'll get to that. So she got so much clapback from this, she had to turn around and issue an apology shortly after she was trying to defend this guy. Yeah. So, I mean, they were really angry at her defending him. So, she went ahead to clarify her stance, saying that I was naive in the video. And, I mean, it was crazy.
And she woke up with no makeup on. They said that's how you know she's being sincere.
Because she had to hurry up. Whoever does her PR.
Got her right out of bed. She was still in the bed, too.
They don't handle her brothers. Whoever her PR person is, say, look, girl, you got to get up. You got to address this right now. So, I mean, she didn't even wear makeup. She didn't have time to put a swatch on.
To be quite honest, I feel like a lot of people who are in interracial relationships and they're not the minority, they feel that way. Like, and I understand it's hard to understand when you don't get it.
Right.
But let your little daughter and son come home and say, Mommy, somebody called me this N-word. You're going to be all up in arms. I have my niece's mother is white, and she did the same thing when some kids went for her kid. However, in many public outings, she never said anything until it personally affected her. And she still don't even understand. So it's like with you, Kim, and your whole family, like, how have y'all not had any type of seminar on how to deal with black culture in a negative?
Right. I don't even think it has to do with her not being a minority, because she is a minority. I think it has more to do with the fact that she's grown up entitled her whole life. She's been rich her whole life, so she hasn't started from the bottom.
Well, I think she sees herself more at
the bottom. Oh,
I think she sees herself more as a white woman than she does a Middle Eastern woman.
Well, I mean, this is a whole conversation in and of itself, but I think Middle East is kind of in that gray area where you can be either or, because I don't even think on the census they have a place for Middle East.
They do Eastern. Now, I think.
Yeah, they just recently.
But growing up, when we did like our testing, they did.
Right, yeah. Because I know I have Middle Eastern friends who said, oh, when I took tests or when I fill out my census, I have to check white.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have, And so it's really interesting, because you would think as many interracial relationships that she's been in, maybe those are her only relationships, that by now she would see, look, you don't defend,
You never do that, period. Like, that's not your job. You don't know this man. No. That is not your job to sit there and say, he had a past. And, I hate when people bring up my past. Sex tape and racist comments, not even remotely on the same level for you to say that. And then how can you say you were naive? In your first video defending Jeffrey, you admitted. Right. I know he said some racist things. Yeah. How is that naive? You were aware.
So, yeah, she had to. Maybe is Sean Spicer working for her now as her? Is he now her communications person? But, yeah, so she quickly had to go back and reclaim that.
I'm not to be a hater, but I'm really looking forward to this whole Kardashian trend to kind of die down, because it's just getting worse I'm not too in my feelings about appropriation of black culture, but it's like even when Kylie and Kendall put their faces over Biggie and Tupac's face on t-shirts and stuff, it's like you're so immersed in the good things, but when Black Lives Matter, do you ever tweet about it? Do you ever march about it? Do you ever donate money on the situation?
No, they just appear in Pepsi commercials.
Yes. See, if she would have put the Pepsi on top of the car, then nothing bad would have happened that day. Sorry, was that inappropriate?
I just got that.
I'm not laughing
on it. So.
Yeah, I'm not laughing, but it was the whole point of, thinking that Kendall Jenner and that Pepsi can stop anything.
I see you. I got you. I see exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just got it now.
So, and to my knowledge, they haven't even said anything about that online. So, you know how I feel. All right, guys. Damn, we have more stuff to talk about. Should we talk about it after break? I think we should. All right, guys. You're listening to The Real with Rachel D. Make sure you go on social media to show us some support on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Especially YouTube. We're trying to build up our following. So you know you want to hear us whenever you want to hear us. All right. Well, coming up, we have a mix by DJ Specs. Hey, guys. We're back. You should see the crew over here scrambling. Lord, they scrambling for their headphones. We're back to The Real with Rachel D. Yes. That was a mix by DJ Specs. And we're going to wait for him for a minute. But in the meantime, we're going to finish up our celebrity news. All right, guys. Let's get into this Nicki Minaj booty Instagram post.
So it's very funny. Everyone pretty much knows who Nicki Minaj, the singer behind Anaconda, anyways. So the man in question, what we have to say is Nicki Minaj had posted a picture on Instagram of her, what pretty much made her famous. So this guy, identified as William Henry Dewberry III, whose Facebook page lists him as an elder at the Church of God in Christ in Memphis, Tennessee, basically told Nicki Minaj that he wanted to eat the booty like groceries.
How old was this man?
He's a grown man. I'd say he's in his 50s. But when people saw it and started reporting on it, he did the same thing that everyone does when someone hacks their account. That was not me. It wasn't me. Someone hacked my account. I don't know who this is saying this. And then he even put out a report to his church. He said, and I quote, "Saints, I need your help. Somebody created a fake Instagram page under my name. I don't know who did this, but this needs to come down ASAP. Somebody report this immediately. I did not create this. I already have an Instagram page, and I'm telling y'all, this ain't me, brothers and sisters." So I'm like, but it's his picture. It's his information. I mean, everything lined up. So maybe he had a moment of weakness. Maybe,
I'm not buying it.
Communion ain't cutting it anymore. He said, let's put something new on the menu.
No. He may have gotten into those little communion wines a little bit.
Right.
Got on Twitter.
Instagram. So,
you know what it is? You know how older people are with social media? And they really think that we're so dumb that we don't understand how social media works.
Right.
So it's like, no, sir, that is your hash, that is your tag, that is your name, that is your comment.
I mean, maybe he doesn't understand how DMs work. So.
Who's this? Hello, caller on the line. Can we hear you?
Yeah, Rachel D.
Yo, DJ Specs.
What's good?
Nothing much. Welcome to The Real with Rachel D.
Right on. How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right.
We're good. So, yeah, this is something we didn't want you to miss. We were actually, we were wrapping up the story about the pastor who posted on Nicki Minaj's Instagram about wanting to eat her booty like groceries. But that wasn't really what I wanted to say that you were going to miss. But close enough. All right, let's get into this debate, you guys.
All right.
First things first, we're going to go through a list of these stories that kind of all ties into this. So basically, the debate topic, it's not even a question. It's pretty much a statement with exclamation points. Is what the heck is wrong with America? Like, what is going on with America right now?
America, I think, is starting to finally realize that, it is what it is. You have to kind of look at the foundation that America was based on. And a lot of people have tried their best to move from that point. But at the very end of the day, the basis is, it was based on greed and inequality.
Yeah.
And, and some people wanted to make America great again. And that ain't happening.
Well, when has America ever been great?
Exactly.
Especially for brown people and red people.
Exactly. So I think
America was built on racism and capitalism.
Hello?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's just showing its true colors. This has been seething since America's inception.
I agree. And honestly,
it's just now getting to the point to where people are starting to really recognize it, and then us as melanated people are starting to check people about it, for real.
Yeah.
It's not back in the 60s when we were marching and And God bless to all our ancestors who put in that work for us to be to the point to where we're at today. But now we're not letting it ride anymore.
I agree.
That's
so
true.
let's get into some of these stories, Miss BJ. So an ex-prison guards who were actually also members of the KKK were found guilty of planning to kill a black inmate.
Right. So let me start off saying this. Ku Klux Klan members who became prison guards. Because if you know, the FBI did release, there are a lot of people who are in uniform that were Klan members before they became security guards or police officers. And this
politicians,
is politicians, governors. And
Really?
trust me, this is not by accident. This is a bit of a plan. Like, they know where they need to be able to basically keep the knee on people of color. So like I said, these were Klansmen who became prison guards. They have been convicted of a plot to kill a black inmate after his release. So recently, a Columbia County jury found, and this is in Florida, by the way, David Elliott Moran, 49, and Charles Thomas Newcomb, 45, guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The date has not been set, but the murder plot started after a third guard and Klan member, also Thomas Jordan Driver, was bitten during a fight with an inmate who they believe was infected with HIV and hepatitis. So they had set up to plot to kill him after this inmate was released, and the law enforcement found out about it and they started investigating it, realized it was true, and they went ahead and they got the ball rolling, and they're basically, arrested. But what actually happened is someone they trusted, who also happened to be an FBI informant, is the one who tipped off the investigators.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
It's all systemic,
It is. But let me tell you, let's talk about kind of we're going to save the Trump for later. That's a whole separate segment itself.
That boy been showing out.
So let's just talk about kind of what's happened recently within the past 5 to 7 days. If you've been living under a rock, you, of course, would not know what has happened. But a driver in Charlestonville, Virginia, there was a rally, a white supremacist, alt-right,
yeah,
KKK, all of that rally. Is that safe to say it was just a rally?
Yeah, it was a rally.
And so there were some anti-protesters.
Yeah.
What is it?
Anti-against them protesters, yeah.
Yes. And so it was very peaceful because we know how to do it right. And a car plowed into the groups of protesters.
Correct. Knocking several people in the air, killed one, injured 19. So now the driver was charged with killing a woman at the white nationalist rally in Charlottesville. His name is, I'll just go with Fields, who is 20 years old. Initially, people who were with the alt-right said he was afraid, and his accelerator got stuck. Right, they were trying to say anything. He's not racist. He was just afraid. He was trying to leave, and these people were in the street. Until a picture surfaced of him standing with the alt-right, the white nationalists, wearing the same insignias and holding like some kind of, I don't know, some little circle thing with the insignia on it, meaning he was there at the rally. And now he killed a 32-year-old woman, Heather Heyer, who was she was an activist. She fought for equality. So, and now they're doing everything they can to say he's not racist, he's not violent.
See, and that right there, we as a people, African American people, can have our wallet, a loose cigarette, some iced tea, and they will try to justify up and down why we're dangerous and we're racist. But this man rammed a 2-ton car through a crowd, smashed in there, reversed.
And left the scene.
I personally, if I got into an accident like that, would your first instinct would be to reverse the car and leave? Or if it was really an accident, you'd be like, oh my God.
You'd stop.
Yeah.
Get out, assess the damage. Instead, he stopped, reversed, and left the scene.
And killing them.
See, that's the thing of how they portray us in the media. Is that we're always, they'll dig up, in 8th grade he got a D on his math test, or, they'll always find something for justification.
Right.
To demonize us.
Yeah.
But then look at what happened recently here in Oklahoma City just 2 days ago. Guy tried to blow up a bank.
with the van, similar to
with the
Timothy
van,
McVeigh.
right? And we've already had one domestic terrorist, Timothy McVeigh, blow up the federal building here. But they'll sit there. Oh well, he had a hard childhood, or he cut his finger in the 3rd grade, and that's what led to this. They'll try to pacify their past.
Right. He couldn't cut the straight line. He couldn't afford Elmer's glue. He had to use the paste, the cheap stuff that crumble.
He has a mental issue.
Right.
That's the
well,
number
this
one
guy,
thing.
check this out. It's starting to surface. He's beat up his mother several times.
Right.
Did y'all see that interview with her?
Yeah. First of all, she said she didn't realize she doesn't get involved in her son's political stuff. She was just babysitting his cat. So that's what she said.
Right there, you can tell that cat was white if he put hands on his mama, because any of us who would have put hands on our mom would have been dead.
Right. This guy, they said so in an incident, he was in 2010. She said her son smacked her in the head and locked her in the bathroom after she told him to stop playing video games. He basically said, "Get in there, Mom." Then in 2011,
she probably did it.
Yeah, she got in there. She walked in that bathroom and he locked her in until he could finish his game.
And then she waited for him to come back out.
Son, her Michael, get her. You can't get out now, Mom. Stay in there. I hate you. So, and then in 2011, the mother had to call the police because he threatened her with a 12-inch knife. And that's pretty much why she said she don't get involved, because she don't want to get beat up. That's why she did what she thought he was just going to a Trump rally.
And then she said, Trump's not racist. Trump's not. Like, she looked high out of her mind.
Child. And what I don't get, you didn't see him leaving in his little mini Adolf Hitler outfit. Talking about, I thought he was just going to a regular rally. I told him to be peaceful. To be, don't be causing trouble. Didn't he just lock you in the bathroom a few years ago and hit you upside the back of your head?
Exactly.
And talking about she couldn't believe her son.
The main thing that people like him and, those groups and stuff like that, they're afraid of, for one, is that if we unite like we're supposed to be united anyway, that we would do the same thing to them that they've been doing to us since for 400 years.
Right.
Yeah. And the
Plus
truth
with
is,
the Jim Crow laws, with the redlining and all this and that, because for kids.
Wait, you breaking up, DJ?
DJ Stacks.
Sound like you're in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. But no, I feel like this. I don't think that black people have ever thought about overthrowing the white people and enslaving them.
No.
Like,
we just trying to make it home.
Yeah. It's very, very basic, like basic respect. And their rationality, and I don't want to say theirs and everybody, because clearly Heather, white woman, died, being on our side.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he didn't mean to do that.
There are some conscious white people.
Yeah.
But we need more of them to start speaking up and checking these people.
Right.
It's a lot of interracial marriages, and a lot of these kids are mixed and stuff like that. So if you're around your relatives and, well, hey, this and hey, that, you need to check them on the spot. Be like, I'm not down with that.
Yeah.
We need a lot more entertainers to come out.
And I tell
white
people
entertainers. We need a lot more of these sports athletes to step out of the box and be like, hey, that's wrong.
Well, yeah, there was one sports athlete just recently. They were asking him about Bennett sitting down during the national anthem. I'm going to be honest with you. Why aren't y'all looking at the people in the stands who are drunk during the national anthem? They don't sit down. They don't cross their heart. They're cussing. They go to the bathroom. They take this time to go buy their hot dogs. They don't even respect the national anthem. He said, why are y'all focused on us as the players when you can look in the stands and see we're not the only one? And then the reporter's just like, They really didn't know how to respond. And I thought that was very smart what he said. Why are y'all focused on us when there are hundreds of people in the stands who are doing the same thing?
Exactly.
So why aren't they taking a look at the reason why he's protesting?
They don't want to acknowledge the fact. That's too much right, as my
They
mom would
want
say.
us to be. I saw this I was watching First Take a couple weeks ago, and I cannot remember. It wasn't Stephen A. or Max or whatever. It was a substitute. And he was being quite honest. He said the reason why no matter how we protest is never good enough because they don't want us to. They want us to be good old boys and be quiet. And I find it very funny that they love to reference how Dr. Martin Luther King would feel today. You know what? It'd be great to figure that out if he was living. But let's not forget, he didn't die in a car accident helping us. You assassinated him. He was murdered doing the type of protesting that you claim you are cool with if we did like Dr. King did. It's like, no, you wouldn't.
But at the same time, Dr. King led peaceful marches.
Right.
But you still see videos of them of getting sprayed with water hoses, attacked by dogs, beat with sticks, and they were peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that the U.S. government was found liable for his murder.
Yeah.
Coretta Scott King, she sued the
won
government.
that.
And she won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's all fine when we're silent and peaceful and all meek and stuff like that. But as soon, because Dr. King got conscious before he was killed.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke out against the Vietnam War. He spoke out against, homelessness and stuff like that. And, he was starting to ramp up other programs, to start bringing us out of that. Because he even admitted, I integrated my people into a burning out. Because I believe before integration, we were better off because we were self-sufficient than what we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We don't own anything now, so we're stuck.
Right. I know I never saw nobody at the Nation of Islam getting attacked by no dog. I'm just saying.
Right.
Ain't nobody get sprayed either.
You see, they killed Malcolm X, too.
Right.
Well, there is some progress being done. People are taking down these Confederate monuments and lobbying to take them down because honestly, if you look at it, it makes sense. And who would go to in Germany? They're not going to go to the Hitler school, elementary school, or nothing like that. It's like only in America do we sit here, know what this symbolizes, know the history behind it, and feel some kind of way that is, you can't say that you are not racist, but you feel some kind of way that the people who wanted to keep black people enslaved is, monuments and carved on the side of Stone Mountain.
It's really interesting because in Germany, it's illegal to have swastikas.
Right.
There was recently a white American, I believe, who went to Germany and was drunk, and he was in the middle of the street doing the Heil Hitler in the middle of the street and got arrested because that's illegal over there.
Yeah.
Any of that is because they know what it represents. Is even though it was part of their past, it was a very hurtful part of their past. So their best thing they did is they eradicated it. It's in a museum if you want to go see it, but they don't celebrate that. Unlike people here who celebrate the Confederacy.
And that's my biggest problem with it. It's not so much the
But
monuments.
this
the
country
monuments
does
are.
not want to let go of that.
Go ahead.
The monuments are already erected and everything, so I think it's kind of I see it as counterproductive to kind of go back and take everything down that's up already. So to me, it's not so much the symbols because symbols don't have inherent meaning. To me, it's the sympathizing that's the problem and that needs to be addressed. The fact that you can go to Stone Mountain and they're still showing the laser show that's blatantly like a Confederate sympathizing symbol and message with people lined up along the lawn with their Confederate flags in the ground. Like, you know what that means.
Right.
So the fact that the monument is, and that's another thing that's happened this week is what's her name? Representative Stacey Adams. Is it Stacey? Has come out and said that she wants the monument at Stone Mountain taken down.
Yeah.
She wants that. But
I think it should be, I get what you're saying. It is just a monument or whatever, but I think that because...
No, it's not that it's just a monument, but it's the fact that it's already up. I don't think that removing the symbols is going to take away the mentality.
Right.
I think you have to address the sympathizing and the way that it's presented before just like taking away the symbols or rushing in to take away the symbols.
I agree.
Well, somebody who also feels it's okay, what's his name?
General Robert E. Lee's great-great-great-grandson.
He did, because they suggested about taking down his statue in Charleston, in Charlottesville, and his grandson said he's fine with it.
This was the statue that started the whole
thing with the tiki torch polo shirt and khaki march.
When
The
Charlamagne called
Polynesian.
them Vanilla Ices.
Right.
So yeah. Anyway, so this whole thing is not dying down anytime soon. There was rallies here in Atlanta. There was rallies all over the place for peace. And just if you go on social media, it's terrible because a lot of people. I've read some places where they're like Dr. King. You know, they're trying to say Black Lives Matter is like the KKK. You are reaching and reaching and
Super
reaching.
reaching.
Well,
No,
they've
it
been saying
isn't.
that since Black Lives Matter was formed.
Right.
Since the hashtag came out.
And
so-
everybody say, well, when did Black Lives Matter start burning crosses in people's yards? or
Right.
I mean, when's the last
attacking
time we
lynching
drove a
or
car into a
taking,
group of
snatching people out of
yeah.
their house,
Yeah.
or burning up their people's property and all this and that.
Right.
They don't want to acknowledge that. They say they want to acknowledge that it's history, not hate. But you don't want to acknowledge the history that came along that brought forth the hate of slavery.
Right. Even the people of the the General Lee said, look, just put them in the museum. We're cool with it.
Exactly.
So,
And did you guys see that video on social media? It was he was like an Asian guy meeting with a white guy. He was a
Yeah, I saw
supremacist,
that.
and the white guy kept saying, "My ancestors built this country," and even the Asian, no, he didn't. Black
yeah,
people.
Black
did.
people built this
He
country.
did what a lot of
Right.
people on that side do, and it's frame time to befit their agenda, and they warp and manipulate facts to make it seem like it's something that it's not.
Yeah. I mean, it was like this lady. I'm kind of like Rachel. We get involved in a lot of Facebook.
We're like ninja.
divas. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this lady said, my ancestors were here and they had to work hard for everything, and I didn't think they needed a pass. And I was like, so number one, your Irish ancestors came over here willingly. Nobody hit them over the back of the head, threw them on a boat, brought them over here and told them to pick potatoes. So they had an option. Well, they were, people were racist against them. They didn't want to hire them. I said, but at the same time, they still, you could look, unless you told them you were Irish, you didn't have to tell anyone you were Irish.
Right.
and it's
you
nice
were
to
still
know
allowed.
that you are Irish. I wonder
Yeah.
what we are, guys.
Exactly. So, but she just cannot understand it. If I can work hard, how come they can't? Who's saying that they're not?
They are.
And they're asking if we can work hard. We just want the same thing. If we work hard, we want equal pay, equal rights. We both want to be able to walk out of the house at night without getting stopped, harassed, or shot for nothing.
And even if we work hard, you're still not giving credit for it. Because think about Obama. A black man held the most powerful position in this world for 8 years, and they still like, man,
He ain't do nothing.
He ain't do nothing. It was just a mercy thing. We were just paying y'all back. It's like, even when we earn it, y'all don't give it to us. Don't tell us what we
Exactly.
need to work hard for.
Exactly.
My thing of it, as far as they have to understand when they make reckless statements like that, is that up until I'll give you one example. Up until 1968, I believe, black people couldn't even buy life insurance. We could only buy burial insurance. And so we never had an opportunity to build up generational wealth. We never learned the idea of leaving our kids something and stuff like that, to where we can get to the point think about this. There are no black families in this country that can say we have that old money. And y'all live in Georgia, so y'all know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
We're just now we're not even close to being caught up, but we're just now starting to gain a financial traction to where if we play it smart, we can make some moves and start handling our business.
Right.
But we didn't have a head start. They weren't giving land grants to black people like they did white people back in the day.
You couldn't own land. You couldn't own property because they saw you as property.
Absolutely.
Right.
All right, guys. So we got to take a quick musical break, and we will definitely be back with DJ Specs because we're going to talk about Trump, who gives us more and more materials to talk about him every single week. So DJ
gosh.
Specs, we have one of your mixes coming up. Make sure you hang on the line.
All right.
All right, guys. You're back with The Real with Rachel D and DJ Specs. You still
I'm
there?
here.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, brother?
Hey now.
All right. So your brother-in-law just joined us.
What's up, boss dog?
Hey, what's happening? What's going on?
You got it.
All right, so we're going to do a quick discussion about our celebrity in chief, as Charlamagne likes to call him, Donald Trump. So, where do we go to, Miss BJ?
So, we are now discussing when it comes to Trump. I don't even know where to begin. Let's see.
Well, let's begin on his conference and how he reacted to this whole Virginia situation.
So, his very first time. So, I'm going to go with an old saying that people say, when people show you who they are the first time,
believe them.
Mm-hmm. So, his very first response to this, that there was blame on both sides for what happened. He blamed the anti-protesters for antagonizing the ralliers, and then it got violent. And then that was pretty much it. He got so much flack behind that. Here you have governors, mayors speaking out on the people who actually did the ralliers, the protesters, for being violent. They were violent. They came fully armed. They're carrying these, aisle 13 of Lowe's Market, tiki torches, fire. It was even someone who ran someone down. Then after the murder took place, then he comes back and says, you know what? I condemn the white nationalists, the KKK, and the alt-right. I don't stand for this. I don't like this. But before that, David Duke said, hey, look, don't be talking bad about us, dude. We're the people that put you in the White House. We're just doing what you said. We're trying to make America great again. We're trying to take it back. Blood and soil. So then he flip-flopped the very next day and said, you know what? No, it's blame on both sides. There was violence on both sides. Those anti-protesters were very, very violent. They came with clubs. I mean, and so he contradicted himself, but you know what? He said that the first time. So that's truly how he felt.
That is. And then the fact that David Duke, this man is a proud current Klans member, but former Klans leader. And he has, at one point in time, Donald Trump said that he did not know this man at all, but records show that he actually does and have had years long of a relationship with this man. And he's right. That's the one thing I have to say I can respect about David Duke. You're right. Y'all did put him in the White House and he let you, and he was cool with that. And it's that's just... I don't think Donald Trump, as far as racism, is that bad as David Duke. But it's
right.
Dude, you're not that stupid to not know who's really at fault with this.
These people are endorsing him.
Trust me.
Yeah.
What's so sad is that in 1927, I think it was 1927, maybe 1928, in New York, Donald Trump's dad was in, a riot type thing with Klansmen.
Yeah.
I mean, people forget
that.
He got arrested. This is the president's father. So you already know this is something he grew up with. Those values and the way he thinks came from his father, who was a Klansman.
You know what I wonder? Because, the Nazis, the German Nazis were against the Jewish, right?
Right.
But his daughter, Donald Trump's daughter, now is Jewish because she married, what's his name, Jared Kushner or something like that. Mm-hmm. And him and his family's Jewish.
Right.
So it's how do you not tie that in somewhere? Let's take race out of it real quick. And we don't even talk about the black people. Mm-hmm. Do you not know what those symbols, those signs, that supremacy represents? Hate against your family, your son-in-law, your daughter, your grandkids who are now Jewish.
That's the only reason I think the media has grabbed it, because for once, this is... people are appalled because, Jewish families run a lot of things in the media. And it's not like this is Black Lives Matter, because Black Lives Matter has had several rallies and protests and walks that never got mentioned on TV. You never saw it. The only way you saw it is people going Facebook Live with it. You didn't even hear about it. But now, because it's so anti-Jewish and it involves, you barely saw black people marching. It was very few of us. And now it's just prevalent in the media, and people are upset and they're appalled. This is not Nazi Germany. This is America. We went to war for this. And I'm like, okay.
But see, that's the funny thing is that, I hated that this woman, like I said before, she got killed. But now it's a problem when the white woman gets killed. Mm-hmm. Just like it was a problem when the Muslim officer up in Minnesota killed that white woman. Now, police brutality is a problem. We've been saying this for years.
Right.
It's not like we just show up at work and got an attitude because, we have to deal with racism that's not, that's not something that's involved in our life every day, and it is.
True. And that's why I think a lot of people kind of waited to see, and I'm not trying to be funny, when we heard that one person died and 19 were hurt. People were waiting to almost see the ethnicity of the person who died before, because at first it was like just one person died. When they found out it was a white woman
A white woman
who
America's
got murdered
gem.
at a white nationalist rally. I mean, it was plastered everywhere. Then to find out that she was an activist, she did research on her. Her mother said she was the kind of person that just would see inequality. She wouldn't just read it on her computer and move on. She read about it, organized a march about it. She actually got out and did something about it. She rallied, she organized, she wrote letters, she gave voices to things. She was one of those people, she got up off the couch and she got in the streets and she wanted her voice to be heard. So, I mean, that really was a shock. So, I mean, not saying that if it had been a black person who had been murdered, they would have started to look at the background. Why was he walking in the road in front of a car? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's because he was drunk. He did get a DUI back in 1963. So maybe, you know, so, and I'm not trying to say anything, but it's just sad. But I am glad no matter what the face is that brings light to the situation, I'm just glad that it's being brought to the light. So.
Yeah, me too.
They crucified Brother Cap for doing the same thing.
How do you say his name, BJ?
Who?
Brother Kaepernick, not Copernic.
Oh, yeah, Colin Kaepernick.
Copernic.
But yeah, they did. And then you sent, you know, your people, the folks who work in the house, you know, came and say, hey man, you know, maybe you should cut your hair and stand up, you know. Yeah. No, and I think that takes away the value of what this is something he did. He did on his own. It was nonviolent. It was very passive. He didn't speak out. He didn't disturb anyone. He just took a knee, sat down, did his thing. So,
yeah.
You know what's funny about Trump, the way he acted this week? You know how you get into an argument with somebody and you just kind of walk off, but then you think about it and you got to get that one last word in.
Oh yeah.
That's how that last press conference he had, like. No, you know, those were some good people out there. They just had some bad people come out. No, you're just speaking up for your people.
He is.
You know, he's like, no, I'm not doing that, because this is a man who got elected president, who said I could stand out on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and y'all still vote for me.
Right.
And they did it. You know, so I can do basically whatever I want to, and y'all still got my back.
Yeah, he was promoting violence during his rallies, and these people still. I mean, you have veterans punching young black women in the face, punching young black people in the face, and he's like, don't worry about it. I'll pay to get you out of jail.
He encouraged police brutality, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, we have to go to a break real quick. But DJ Specs, thank you so much for calling in. Pleasure as always.
Right on, brothers and sisters.
All right, you guys can check him out on DJ Specs on Facebook and djspecs.com to booking, and Christopher Daniels on Facebook and Twitter, right?
Yes, and I will travel.
All right. Love you, bro.
Love you too. Peace.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the Growth Rachel D. Hey, Miss BJ.
Hi.
P Money. So, well, that didn't seem very loving. I'm kidding. We're being joined by one of the credit fellows, my husband, Austin Sanders.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back, babe. All right, guys. So this is the portion of the show where we want to get better educated, especially about credit. We want to debunk some myths. We want to talk about ways that you can better yourself and better your credit. So
exactly.
Let's start off, Austin. What percentage of people have less than perfect credit?
Well, percentage-wise, not sure, but I know for a fact in America is less than or more than 43 million people are out there living with a less than perfect credit, less than the 599, and we're not even talking about the 600. So if you have 600, that's still not adequate to probably like buy or get a mortgage.
Wait, are you saying that? Say that one more time.
So I said 43 million people
have less than
599.
Has less than 599?
Yeah.
He meant 43 million and one.
40.
BJ.
Well, I'm telling you.
Less than 599. So like I said, we haven't even gotten to the 600. So that's amazing. And I look at this opportunity like whenever there's a big problem, it's big opportunity. So that's where my company comes into play. What we do is help people get perfect credit by way of deleting any inaccurate, derogatory, or obsolete items that's on your credit report, which I want to get into right now. I want to talk about leverage. You know, we need to leverage our rights because I don't know if you know, but the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 1971 gives you the right to dispute any of those items, anything that's negative on your credit report. It could be a bankruptcy, tax lien, charge off, medical bill, student loans, child support, fellas.
Well, Mr. Credit Fella, you know, growing up, they make it seem like pretty much whatever they stick on there, you're just stuck with. But you're telling me that's not true.
Yeah, absolutely not true. That's one of a myth that people think, like whatever's on your credit report, it can't be deleted. Like sometimes they say like bankruptcies or foreclosures have to stay on the credit for 7 to 10 years, and you know that is true, but you can actually get those off earlier. And then sometimes, you know, the credit bureaus don't apply to they don't take heed to the law because it says that you have to delete those, but do they? No. That's because the credit bureaus get paid for people to have low credit or less than perfect credit, $5.99 or lower.
See?
$5.99 or lower. Like, what can you get? Like, when you have BJ, what can you get?
I can tell you. What do you get?
Yeah.
Denied.
Right, denied. Yeah, I mean, even if you have a $5.99 or lower, there are people or companies out there that will, you know, give you, you know, these like cars. However, you're going to be paying at least 18% interest on those car notes.
Yes, because Mr. Credit Fella, this is the problem. Like me and my friend, we both went to try to go get a new phone, and me with my very inadequate, you know, very low inadequate credit score. Hers with her very, you know, like 640, maybe 650. The same phone, same plan. She got to walk away with her phone. She didn't pay anything. They looking at me like, you want a to-go plan, right? And I'm like, no, I want the Samsung 8. And they was like, well, we got an old flip phone in the back if you want.
Right.
But I didn't understand. Like it didn't matter that my income was more than hers.
Yeah, that's pretty much because like back in the day they used to say cash is king. Not anymore.
Oh.
I would say credit is king because when you walked into that store and they pulled your credit, it looked as if you weren't worthy or trustworthy of paying your bill. So they weren't going to give you a phone. They gave your friend a phone because they looked at her credit. It was a little bit better. And 640 is not perfect, but it's a little bit better than probably what yours is. So they trusted her more than they trusted you.
Yeah, they say she pay her bill. You do not. You get no phone. She get phone. So
right.
Yeah, but at that time, I honestly say that was my lack of knowledge of credit. Because, you know, at certain time, college, you just swipe it and forget it. I'm like, I'll pay it later.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The most targeted people with credit cards are college students.
Oh, wow.
Because they're looking for some quick cash, and little do they know that when they don't pay those bills because they don't have the money, I'm going to say they don't have the money. They're going to be, you know, scrambling to get that money, you know, later on in life, and their credit is going to suffer for it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Credit Fella. Let's say you're good friends with, like, I don't know, Quantasha Sharpton.
Right.
Quantasia. And let's say, you know, you didn't know that she, you know, y'all was in a restaurant, she went in your purse and took your identity. So she was putting stuff on your credit report that you didn't know of, like putting lights in your name and things like that. How is it, if I find that out, is there a way that I can dispute that?
Absolutely. Like I said, through the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 1971, it gives Americans the right to dispute anything negative on your account, including identity theft.
Oh.
So when we dispute it and it comes back as, you know, it wasn't you, or it confirms that it wasn't you, it's going to be deleted automatically.
See, I think a lot of people don't realize that. They don't check their credit, and sometimes you might have had a roommate or, like, you know, a raggedy friend or a broke ex-boyfriend, and you find all these things in your past on your credit report that you didn't do, but they're just, carrying it around because they don't know that you can, dispute it.
Right. And the time, when they find out that it's on their credit report, when they try to get a cell phone.
Right. And they go, oh my God, it's cold in this shade. But that's true. You don't know. And it encourages you to look, and you get this long list of, you're like, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting.
So let me ask you, what exactly does a credit dispute look like? Like you're talking about things that are on your credit report. So if it's things that are there, like say you did run up a whole bunch of bills in your past in college or something like that, what exactly are you disputing? Are you saying that you...
Well, if you ran up a bunch of bills in college and you haven't, are you saying like you haven't paid them? Are you up to date on them?
I guess, would that be the dispute? Would that be grounds for dispute if you're saying that you're up to date on everything now and you just kind of want to negate the bad credit? Or are you saying...
Well, if you're up to date on all of your bills, like I'm up to date on my bills, on all of my student loans, and I have 0 negative items on my credit report. However, I have a lot of student loans. That's not negative because I'm up to date on the bill. However, if you defaulted in the past or it was delinquent for longer than, I think, 6 months, then that's going to show as a negative on your credit. We can get that off.
Okay.
So that negative item, that negative delinquent or negative default that's on your credit report, we can dispute that and have that taken off, but you're still responsible for the debt.
Okay.
However, like last week we talked about a collection. If you were delinquent, let's say on a car, or defaulted on a car payment, and they sent that debt, they sold it to a collection agency, then we can, because when you sell debt to a collection agency, they buy it for a whole lot less than what you owe. So we can actually dispute that to update the record to show that you don't owe what you owe, but you owe what the company sold the debt to the credit agency. So we can either have that updated or we can have it deleted.
Okay.
In worst case.
Okay.
All right, cool. Very educational. So there's so much more stuff to learn about, and we actually have to take a quick musical break. But can you tell everybody where they can find more information about you, Credit Fella?
Yeah, you can find me. My phone number is 678-934-3161. If you text RESTORE to that number, I will get right back with you. And also you can see me on Instagram at Austin1919JS.
All right, so Credit Fella, you might as well stick around as we talk about the craziest stories that we found on social media. But before then, coming up, we have a mix by DJ Jack Nice. Keep it here.
All right, guys. You are back with The Real with Rachel D, and that was another great mix by DJ Jack Nice. We are here live with the girl, Miss Rachel D.
Hey.
Me, Miss BJ. Patrick P. Money, get him right, get him tight. Right, I just Patrick P. Money. and our very own Credit Fella.
Hey, what's up? This is Austin.
So we had a very, very interesting conversation with Austin before. Just talking about, I'm learning some stuff over here, guys.
Which one? Talking about credit or talking about like dieting?
Oh, a little bit of both. Because if my credit was better, I probably could eat more food, but or better food. But just the fact that just to be knowledgeable of what's on your credit report. So
absolutely. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into one of our favorite segments. This one's going to be a lot longer than I put down, and hopefully so. WTH social media trends. Now, this is some of the stories that we found on social media, news reports, or things that are just completely ridiculous and outrageous. And so we're going to talk about it and give our opinions. So the first story, we probably should have called DJ Specs for this since he always has a stripper story ready to tell. A stripper was arrested for stabbing boyfriend in the eye with a pen and shoving a piece of wood down his throat.
Guys, you already know where this happened. In Florida. So a stripper in Florida was arrested for allegedly stabbing his boyfriend in the eyes and jamming a broken piece of wood down his throat after an argument. So in Key West, the authorities say they were called to the home early Monday morning on a domestic dispute call. So when they got there, they found 67-year-old boyfriend Mark Brand with a piece of wood in his throat and suffering from stab wounds in his eyes.
Wait, this is a male stripper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave.
So Justin Calhoun, who is the stripper, admitted to police that he attacked the guy. He told authorities that him and his boyfriend Brand had gotten into an argument after he accused the 67-year-old of being a cannibal. So Brand apparently got mad and he jumped up and grabbed a gun and threatened and started firing it. But due to Calhoun's super stripper moves, he dodged the bullets. So he went and got a pen and jammed them in his eyes and then stuck a piece of wood down his throat and called the police. So, well, he said, no, this is what he did. He grabbed a pen, stabbed his partner in both his eyes, jumped up off the couch, stood up, stomped on a piece of wood to lodge it further down Brand's throat after he, broke it and put it in his mouth. So, then they said Calhoun continued to attack the 67-year-old by grabbing a dresser drawer and beating the injured man over the head with it. Then Calhoun said he grabbed some money, a dress to wear, his backpack, jumped out of the bedroom window while naked before police arrived with the dress in the backpack. So,
wait a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
So many questions.
Yeah.
So many questions, so many jokes, but I'm going to leave the jokes alone. It just seems like to me, like you don't just think up shoving a piece of wood down somebody's throat. You've been thinking about that for a minute. Like that's...
Like, where did he find a piece of wood that would perfectly,
right,
fit down his throat?
And then the dress is already laid out. And you got it ready.
He knew where to grab the money from, and he jumped out. My thing is, why did you jump out of the bedroom window and not walk out of the door? Right. The dude can't see. You stabbed him in the eyes. He can't yell out for help because he has wood down his throat. And then you grab a dress and some money, and then you jump out the bedroom window. It's crazy. So, but he is being held on a charge of attempted second-degree murder, and he is being held without bond.
So the guy's still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
Oh, shoot. Unfortunately. I know it's bad, but I can't imagine going through that. Mm-hmm. And then it does make sense. Like, who stomps a piece of wood to break? Like, you have a whole house. I'm assuming there's a kitchen. And assuming there's a kitchen, there might be some utensils. There's some other stuff we could have grabbed real quick.
And then he hit him over the head while he's wood down his throat. He's blinded, and he hits him with the head with a dresser drawer.
So wait, where was the fight? Was it in the bedroom?
It was in the bedroom.
Okay, because if it was in the living room and you ran into the bedroom to pull the dresser drawer out, it would have just been so much worse.
I'm assuming the guy's eyes are bad already. He's 67. Maybe he had cataracts because he did shoot at him, but he missed him. So he was probably doing all kind of like Beyonce, stripper moves, like a sexy matrix to dodge the bullet.
How old was the guy who went to jail?
He's in his 20s.
And the other guy was 67.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
What?
Maybe he missed his student loan payment.
That
can kind of make people trip once Sally Mae start calling you back and you said you got it.
But what impresses me, though, I have to say I'm impressed. This 67-year-old guy did not choke on that wood that was jammed down his throat. I'm just saying he stayed alive till authorities got there. Even after getting hit over the head with a dresser. So,
well, 67, so that's guaranteed that he has at least 50 years of some type of experience.
I'm just saying he got, by the grace of God, he still, all that, he would not die.
All right, so moving on, a man is sentenced to 16 years in prison for scamming women out of thousands of dollars through online dating sites.
That Prince, that African Prince.
Oh no, but he's an African American man. So this happened in Arizona, and he was handed a very hefty prison sentence, 16 years behind bars, and he did plead guilty to 2 counts of fraudulent schemes and artifices. So this is what happened. He met his victims on various online dating websites, Match.com, PlentyOfFish.com, BlackPeopleMeet.com, Tinder, and so forth. He convinced these women that he met to invest thousands in fraudulent schemes. So, and this took place, it started in 2013 up until recently. So he would meet them and he sparked romances with these women. He told them that he was a licensed stockbroker.
Wait, a licensed what?
Stockbroker.
Oh. So, she said thought broker.
No. Okay. And instead of investing their funds, however, he used the money at casinos, nightclubs, strip clubs. So one of the things he did with all of his victims is he was like, so what do you like to do? Oh, you like that? Long walks on the beach? Good. What is your credit score? He only dated women with great credit scores.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I mean, I promise you, one of his victims, Tara DeGrazio, one of his victims said he asked her questions related to her credit. He would ask her questions like, "Are you financially capable of buying a house or a car?" And then he'd check her credit score. And if she was, then they could proceed to go out on dates. Then he also asked her, "So you think you'd be able to pay off all your student loans in a timely manner?"
Oh, man.
So, I mean, this is what she's saying. So they said he was arrested after convincing these women to invest thousands of dollars in fraudulent investments, communicating only through online dating websites such as the ones I mentioned. And all the women said that he was very charming, but they quickly learned that he only searched for women with a good credit score. One of his victims invested as much as $240,000, which she took from a portion of her 401k. Another one gave him an $100,000 loan.
Wait a minute. So, what did he say he was going to invest with $240,000?
That he did. They didn't go into detail on what he told him, but he got it out of him. So, because he basically wasn't not messing with any broke women. These women had to be financially stable.
Okay, so I'm gonna need to put my imaginary glasses on because I need to critique this. Patrick, there's so many questions. First of all,
my first question is, what was her username on?
She's still lonely.
First of all, if you ask me, what was it about the student loans? Can you pay them off in a timely manner?
Are you able to pay off your student loans in a timely manner?
I would have went ahead and threw in the white flag. I'm like, look,
Then
that's a dumb question to me.
He would say, "Are you financially capable of buying a house or a car?"
That's
like,
weird questions to ask somebody.
On a date?
That's why I feel like situations like this, 50% blame goes to the man, 50% blame goes to the women. Like, I would never answer those questions, and I'd be so turned off by even asking that.
It's crazy because this is the thing. You met these women online, and the fact that it took place between 2013 and 2016, and this was multiple women, you did not take out any time to get to know this man before you're all $240,000, $100,000, and you guys just met. Mm-hmm. And you're already, he said, "So, you you like shrimp? Mm-hmm. What's your mother's maiden name?" So if I was just to pick 4 digits, like a pin code, what would you pick? Mm-hmm. I mean, that did not raise a red flag at all.
I actually know somebody. I used to work with them. BJ knows who she is, and I'll tell her later. But she told me she was so thirsty for love. Mm-hmm. She just was.
Dehydrated.
And I remember her telling me one day that she was dating this fine Puerto Rican guy
offline.
Yes. And he was in the military. And she's like, no, it's top secret. What he does is top secret. It's so secret that he sent me the military he screenshot the military paperwork that said that he was in a top secret mission. But he said, I'm the only one that he shared it with because he loves me. Mm-hmm. But he got into some trouble and he needs $3,000. And I was like...
And she sent him, like, a portion.
I think she sent it all.
Yeah, she sent it, like, she was sending him, yeah.
And then, after about a week, I never heard about the guy again. And I was like, so what happened to the Puerto Rican. Guy? She's like, oh, we didn't work out. I said, you sent him that money, didn't you? And she was like, a little bit. It's like scammers.
Like $2,999.
Exactly.
So, but that's the thing.
I'll take $3,000. What is her username?
You know what? It's so funny because these are the things they tell you about all the time. Do not go online to meet these people. And if they start asking for financial, help, that is what it's there for. It's not for your heart. It's for what's in your wallet. Or this guy's what's your credit score.
Exactly.
So, I mean, whenever a date starts sounding like like an interview with a bank, come on now.
And I think that, I also wonder, like, where are her friends?
Yeah.
It's kind of like I told you, my coworker tells me about this military guy. Like, my response is like, that's a scam, honey.
Yeah.
So you can tell nobody?
Her friends probably getting money. They probably mad because they was getting money. Yeah, my grandma is in the hospital and I can't go see her. I really could use a loan. Wasn't she sick last year? Yeah. The check, please make Bernidra Lofted. No, so I'm just saying, like... Obviously, no one was letting them know. I mean, she probably, and if you see the guy, I mean, I'm not going to give him $40,000. No. Maybe 20.
Maybe not even that.
Or, well, maybe a coupon. An expired coupon.
A Groupon that's about to expire in 2 days, and somebody got to use it because I can't. All right, guys. So moving on. Which one too? Well, since we're kind of in the mood talking about crazy women and men, an Ohio funeral ends with everybody getting pepper sprayed after the deceased man's wife and girlfriend starts fighting.
Yes, I got the title of this segment called Dead Wrong. So, a funeral viewing in Ohio turned into a nasty cat fight after the deceased man's wife and the deceased man's girlfriend started fighting. So, Dayton police were called to the Young Lucerne funeral home Monday afternoon after they received a report of a full-out brawl taking place. So they got there, and Nicole Corbett walked into the service claiming to be the girlfriend of the deceased. When the man's widow, identified as Jacqueline Finley, got upset and stood up and asked her to leave. So the two women started arguing, pointing fingers and faces. You leave. I ain't leaving. I'm his girlfriend. I'm his wife. Next thing you know, punches started flying, and the girlfriend of the deceased punched the husband, the deceased man's daughter, in the face. Oh. Then Finley told officers that the attack was unprovoked. That's when things escalated, and Finley, her daughter, and the girlfriend, and several other women, cousins and aunties, all started fighting. So it was a lot of feathers, hats, weaves, tracks, ponytails, all over the place. Even an employee at the funeral home tried to attempt, and another guy who was in the family tried to break up the fight. They could not get these women off each other. So finally, Finley, who is the wife, pulled out pepper spray and just pepper sprayed the whole group of women, and the fight ended. Everyone left out. So no arrests were made, believe it or not, because no injuries were reported, because they go probably take it to the streets. This is Dayton.
That is I don't know.
During a funeral,
like, what if they knocked over the casket?
They would have been like,
who's gonna pick him up then? Who's the wife or the girlfriend? Who loved him enough to pick his body up then?
Cousins, aunties, daughters jumped in on this fight.
So did they ever get the casket in the ground?
It probably happened. They just probably walked past them while they brawling on the ground, WWE style. And they never say what happened, because funeral home gotta go. We close at 8. Come on now. Exactly. We got another one coming up right behind y'all. We gotta get this body in the ground.
Yeah. Shameful. I've been in a place, I think I told y'all about that years ago, where a girl and a guy got into fighting. And then she pepper sprayed the whole restaurant. Mm-hmm. And then because I lack self-control, I was so annoyed with the chick, I started to get into it with her. Like, she didn't just finish pepper spraying everybody. Like, after I left that situation, I was like, that was really dumb. She could have just pulled it out and just shot me right in the face.
She would have got a hit to the face with an appetizer.
That's true. I would have threw some bar stools like a crazy woman. So I guess I can
that stripper in Florida hitting folks with dresser drawers.
All right, guys. So moving on, an Alabama man from BJ State, Alabama, he beats his twin brother with an aluminum baseball bat over Taco Bell. And he said his brother's always disrespected him.
Okay, anybody knows the best time to eat tacos is really late at night when nothing else is open. You don't feel like cooking, and you're like, you know what? It's all right. My stomach can hurt the next day. So, 19-year-old Tyler Terrell Dukes beat his twin brother with a metal baseball bat after becoming irate over the food he brought him. The victim said he stopped by Taco Bell with his grandma before returning home. He picked food up for himself and his twin. Well, the other brother got very upset and distraught when he discovered that he had to share tacos, and because his brother didn't get him the soft taco that he liked or a drink. Then they basically started brawling. Tyler came out with a baseball bat and struck his brother in the back of the head, causing a severely deep cut. So the deputies did respond, and they found the victim bleeding in an outbuilding, and they got arrested. But when they asked the guy, why did you beat your brother? Basically, he there was a deep cut. He had to go to the hospital. Why he beat him, he said, because he's always disrespecting me. And that, hard taco was the last straw. He wanted the soft taco with a drink. Instead, he got a hard taco.
I can understand.
I'm not mad at that.
You guys.
It gets to that point sometimes. You never
know what
hard
taco?
You never know what your last straw is going to be.
Yeah, true. You could have been working my last nerves for the longest, spent my money. I had a bad day at work, and all I'm envisioning is that delicious soft taco with some mild sauce and my drink. And here you come
with a hard shell.
And forgot my drink. Exactly. Yes, I completely understand that.
You know what?
Where's my bat?
So you get up quietly and you walk. You be like, "Grandma, your dinner okay?" "Yeah, I'm good, Tyrell."
No, low key, she could have got it too.
Well,
because you went with him.
Grandma.
You went with him, and between the two of y'all, couldn't get my order right.
Oh Lord, please, y'all. I mean, if y'all don't know the background, y'all don't know the frappe story, but it's very possible. It's very possible with Rachel's coffee. So
very much so. Austin, would you ever beat your brother up with a bat over some Taco Bell?
No, because the meat in taco is processed, and I probably wouldn't ask for Taco Bell anyway. If it was a protein shake.
Taco Bell is one of the healthiest fast food restaurants.
No, it's not.
Good, nice try.
Any kind of meat you eat is going to be processed, and believe it or not, I don't mean to, turn this conversation into something health related, but believe it or not, all diabetes comes from processed meat and not sweets.
Well, I'll take my chance at 3:00 in the morning.
I'm about to go to Taco Bell once we leave here.
It's so funny because I did take a test that tests your diabetes and, your glucose levels. And the lady just knew. She said she just saw diabetes wrote on your face. I already know what your result's going to be. And I forgot what you called it. And it came back, hello, number one, I've lost over 100 pounds. And I work out every day and I don't, I can't say I don't eat. But anyway, so I had low cholesterol. Mm-hmm. The test to see if you have diabetes or if you ever have diabetes, it didn't even hit on the scale. It was very low. And that lady looked shook. She looked disappointed.
Did she offer you a taco? She said,
no. I was like, I wish I had a tiki torch. I'm about to protest. So give me my props.
Wait. So I was trying to give you some
applause. Yeah, that's exactly upset with me. It's bad enough folks see me think I can sing gospel. I know you can sing.
Jeez. All right, guys. So last story. South Carolina inmates keeps posting social media updates, streaming on Facebook Live behind bars.
So, guys, Greenville, South Carolina. As you know, with smartphones today, if you have smartphone and Wi-Fi capabilities, you can log on to like Facebook Live. You can go live on Instagram, and there's even a website called Periscope. Well, the South Carolina Department of Corrections have been having a problem with their inmates live streaming from inside the prison cell. So with the help of the mobile app Periscope. So in lots of the footage, there were 3 to 4 other prisoners in the cell drinking from an orange cooler and smoking a substance. Some of the other prisoners were on the cell phone talking to viewers. Viewers are able to comment, ask questions like, how long you in and, what's up. And at one point during the live stream, a corrections officer even walked into the cell and it was on camera. He didn't even know because the phone was hidden at that point. But they have identified of the 4 inmates that were doing the live broadcasting. They've identified 2, but they're not being charged. And there is an investigation underway to identify all of them. But they are not releasing the location of the prison in South Carolina. So, you even had some inmates doing rap videos.
I believe it. There was this guy I went to high school with. He got arrested right before we graduated, and he was in prison or jail, whatever, for like 7 years. And he sent me a Facebook message one day, and he was like, "Hey, we need to talk." No, we don't.
What?
No, I'm like, how are you able to even do this?
Yeah, we don't even want to know how they got the phones.
That's true.
But
I had to smuggle that in.
Right. So it's just really interesting. If anything, this maybe it might help if they release at least who the carrier is, because trust me, if you can get a signal inside a prison and enough to live scope, that signal is strong.
That could be good for AT&T or whoever.
Yeah, even behind bars, we still got you.
Oh, good one.
So I just think that's interesting, and they are investigating it.
All right. Well, that is the end of WTH. What the heck, social media. Guys, make sure you keep it here, but a quick reminder, go on social media on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Yes, we are on Twitter. And show us some love and some support by liking, following, and subscribing. We have another mix coming up by DJ Jack Nice, but make sure you keep it here because the Petty Betty Awards are right around the corner. All right, guys, welcome back to The Real with Rachel D.
Yay!
It's almost that time for us to wrap up the show, but we cannot leave without doing the Petty Betty Awards for the week. Miss BJ.
Oh, yes, guys. All right, so we have several contenders this week, but I'll only give you 3. So we're going to go ahead and start with one of the Petty Betty Awards, which I cannot understand, but my friend Patrick here and Rachel D, the Taco Bell bat swinging brother. I mean, really, to hit your brother upside the head with a bat because he didn't bring back a soft taco and a drink. We also have the girlfriend at the funeral who waltzed in and was like, that's my man too. She could have quietly waited till they got to the cemetery and paid her respects, but no, she could let that wife know that I'm the side chick. So, pretty girls like trap music too. And for me personally, just for this week, I'm so daggone tired of people calling me about solar eclipse glasses. I am so sorry, but you guys waited till the last minute. Y'all knew this eclipse was happening 90 years ago. And now y'all are just now deciding that y'all want to see it. And that's it. Those are my runners up for this week.
All right, P Money.
I'm going to say Amazon for charging $60 for
Right. They are selling, Austin, when I tell you people are trying to make their money. That's the new trap. Forget Molly and Percocet. It's solar glasses. Mm-hmm. People are really paying $60 per. I saw 50. I saw 40. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, there were people busted for selling fake solar eclipse glasses. You won't know till after you lose your sight on that day. But exactly. It's true.
All right. Credit fella, Austin.
The guy who beat the guy with the bat.
Taco Bell.
You don't understand that?
No.
No? Mm-mm. Well, don't you ever mess up my Taco Bell order because I
be careful, man,
understand where he's coming from. I do. But no, I have to say I have to go with Miss BJ and P Money because I, too, work in a facility where we had these glasses for quite a while. And everybody knew this was happening for quite a while. And people wanted to wait till the last minute and then have the nerve to get mad at us when they're free. They're supposed to be free.
So where's mine?
It's in my office. Hey, okay. Don't let me give it away now. There's people waiting. There are people waiting.
And they are getting really rowdy about these daggone glasses.
They do. And they get very insulting when you don't have them.
Yeah, I'm just going to start just coloring on piece of papers, just a black marker.
They ain't been to the library in like 25 years. Yes. But today, you got something of theirs, apparently. One
person even asked me how you get there. Didn't know how to get to the library, but you want to come up here for some glasses.
Or you need to be like my mother-in-law, Austin Mama. She just called me one day randomly a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. She was like, I heard you guys had some glasses.
Oh, see, now she was on time.
She was. And so I made sure to stack her to get her some. We get our stuff off the top. So
right.
All right, Ms. BJ, who won the Petty Betty Awards?
All right, let me grab my handy dandy envelope. But I can't seem to. I'm not strong enough. Patrick,
let me get my letter opener. Hang on.
Okay. Oh, that's a big envelope.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it looks like our winner is the solar eclipse glass people, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just, you know what, Patrick, since you happen to have some solar eclipse glasses in front of you, would you mind being the recipient of this award?
Oh, yes, I will take this. I would like to thank, who should I thank for
the
this?
sun?
The sun, or the makers of solar eclipse glasses, NASA, for preserving my sight. It wasn't that great to begin with, but are you curing me?
Sorry, Pat. I apologize. He was not able to finish his speech, but
yeah, it was running over a little bit.
Wrap it up.
All right, Miss BJ, what is your hashtag for the week?
So my hashtag for the week, I have to do one a little serious because of what's been going on around the world with racial inequality. So my hashtag is stay woke. And no, I don't mean to do drugs and stay awake. I mean stay woke. And I'm going to quote someone very famous saying that no one can give you freedom, but nobody can give you equality or justice or anything. If you're a man, you take it. Malcolm X. So don't sit back and wait for somebody to do the right thing when you yourself are capable of doing it. So
I
stay
love
woke.
that. Hashtag stay woke. DJ Specs would love that.
Yes.
All right, guys. You're listening. What was that?
Stay woke.
It's BJ. She's doing some X-rated stuff in here. I think I was the only one that caught that. Anyways, guys, you're listening to The Real with Rachel D. Make sure you go on social media to show us some love and support on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
Yes.
Last minute, where can people find more information? Credit Fella?
Yeah, Credit Fella's doing a credit seminar every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. at the Hampton Inn, Buckhead, Atlanta, right across the street from Twin Peaks. So if y'all are doing anything, come out and learn get some knowledge about credit. And you can reach me at 678-934-3161. Just text Restore to that number.
All right, P Money, Miss BJ, a pleasure as always.
Always.
Thank you.
All right, guys, make sure you join us here again next week, same time, same place. We're going to leave you guys with a mix from DJ Jack Nice, and we will catch y'all next week.